What is up, my homies? Welcome back to more CS news. What's a little double upload before we go traveling to the Austin Major? Who will I be seeing there? Make sure to leave a comment down below. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for passing 77,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much that during lunch, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of news out there. Let's just hit a double upload and get right into it for all of you guys. That being Heroic undergoing massive changes for today's first story. As it was actually announced a couple days ago now by xFloud himself, he'll be being benched by this roster, which took many, including himself, by surprise. This past major was not his best event, but he's had some pretty solid showings for this Heroic roster for the past many months now. And so, yeah, this one is confusing. It's also off the back of some other Heroic changes, which we'll discuss after what xFloud had to say. As he had posted, I've been benched by Heroic. Honestly, I was surprised by the decision, but I fully respect it and hold no hard feelings. I want to thank everyone in the organization. I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to wear the Heroic jersey. As a team, we showed solid performances this season. I gave everything I had at every step to become the best version of myself, and I'm proud to say I've reached new peaks in my game. I'm a very positive person, not so much towards my enemies though. Having fun and working within a healthy structure are my top priorities. I'm aiming higher and excited to see what the future holds. And honestly, I don't think a player response after being benched can get much better than that. If you are a team out there, you see his performances, you see what he's done with Heroic, and you see his attitude and how he handled being benched, that is incredible. I'll be cheering for the guy in the future and really seriously curious where he will be going in the future, and he should be landing somewhere. xFloud no longer with Heroic, alongside two of his former teammates. Of course, we knew this. We have talked about this already. Heroic told us it was going to be happening. It will be SunPayus, set to be joining G2, but no longer with Heroic. That should be a big addition for them, and a big void for Heroic. Along with their coach Saw, they're expected to also be joining him over at G2. And also, comes some side news here because Heroic is making a lot of changes. One of their strategic coaches, I don't think he's been there very long, Feed, has now also led this Heroic roster. He's actually joining a different counterstrike project, which Min Lee also quote tweeted. So I'm like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to, maybe together? And just like that, a very good player in xFloud, a super good player in SunPayus, and a coach are now off Heroic after a very solid, we talked about it in this morning's video, a very solid major run for the organization, and they keep on moving and selling and buying their pieces, and they should be able to afford a pretty good core, and they also have done a great job showcasing they can build really good core rosters. They've done it a few times now, so what the future of Heroic will be, we don't know. And what the future of G2, who they're also helping out massively, we don't know. That G2 core is looking really good, especially after their major run. We'll see what happens. And the breaking news that was out there like 3 a.m. this morning that I am super excited about, we talked about him in his post interviews after, of course, taking Astralis the distance after a stand-in performance for them. That's going to be HOOXI, has now officially signed with Astralis, which I think makes sense given their performance with him. I think a lot of people expected this to go down. Now, with the ongoing financial troubles of Astralis, we still don't know what the future of this organization and this branding will be because, you know, it came out that they're trying to sell the org for just a few £1,000,000, and we don't know if they're going to get that, if they're going to be taken over, but they still have this core roster of players for a certain amount of time. It's interesting what's going on over there, but HOOXI is an amazing addition. I got nothing bad to say about this guy, and with what he did last time with performance-wise with them, yeah, it makes sense to a lot of people. Astralis HOOXI is official. And he also said, thrilled to finally be able to call myself the IGL of Astralis and be back in business with both new and familiar faces. It's been a dream of mine to play for Astralis for quite some time. The glory days of the organization speaks for itself, but also to play for a full Danish lineup again feels special. With time and hard work, I hope and believe we will be able to continue what we started in Astana to give something back to the fans, and has already shown immense support. So yeah, I'm just extremely happy for this guy. I'm always curious about the future of Astralis because they've been, you know, I really thought they were going to do it with Cadian. I truly did. Big fan of that guy, as you guys know. But now HOOXI is going to take the reins of this team, which is still a solid core, right? People talk about Device maybe returning to form, and of course we're seeing it with s1mple now, but you still got a great young core of some young Danish talent that has super high potential if they can figure things out, which they did showcase over in Astana. But we'll see where these guys go from here. And something you guys are probably here for, s1mple has now been partaking in FaZe Clan content, FaZe CS content. If you guys have not been watching Kerrigan's vlogs, they've been amazing to see the behind the scenes of these things. And now FaZe Clan has also had, I think, only 1 or 2 videos with the new guy, that being s1mple, on the roster, and he has now ranked pro players that the other FaZe guys handed to him. This was done in a humorous fashion. I would not take any of this too seriously, just so you guys know, but it was interesting to see what's S1mple, and I'm sure there are veins of truth of what he thought of some of these players. And so, yeah, it was cool to see him rank some people and also have him have some moments about Brokey and also Olaf Meister, which he didn't even realize that Olaf was still on the FaZe Clan's bench, which I can't blame him because he's been there for a while, it seems.
You know,
Legend.
Olaf. I mean, sorry, Olaf.
What?
Remember, he's part of FaZe.
He's coming. Still?
Still, yeah.
He's on our bench, bro.
Yeah, he can still come in.
Right now is D.
And for me, I was like, okay, Rops needs to go higher up. Of course, all of his FaZe teammates, he put in S. He put half of Vitality over there in S as well. Rops, again, should be going higher. I thought one interesting part in here, too, was Kioske, where he put down to B or C because he doesn't have tier 1 experience or like real high pressure land situation on stage experience, which I actually thought was very interesting because he is a highly touted scout out there, but there's a lot of unknowns with him on the main stage and how he can do. And of course, with him set to go to Falcons, which will be joining two of the other teammates he put, Nico and Munisi, in S tier as well. That was interesting to me. Maybe I'm probably reading into that way too much, but the final list for all of you guys, and again, this was done in a humorous fashion. There's some extreme bias in this list. I don't think it's meant to be taken too seriously, unless you're maybe trying to reach for some headlines out there. You guys let me know. That was S1mple's pro rankings. And then very lastly, for all of you guys, it's been a packed day of so much news out there. It was actually a bit late on this one, but we have some updates on the VRS system and how that will work for regions out there, because we had many teams, maybe not many teams, but some teams take advantage of the regions of the Valve ranking system. And of course, you had 2 players from this region, 2 players from this region. You could then decide which region you wanted to partake in. And so it gave some teams out there an easier go at progressing towards the major. It is now, thanks to this latest VRS update, that teams that have split nationalities or split regions on them, they will now be tailored to the stronger of those 2 regions. This will impact a couple teams out there, Wildcard included, Liquid also being included. And so if you have 2 players who are from EU, 2 players who are from NA, if EU is the stronger region, which it definitely is and probably always will be, that is now a European VRS ranked team, which is very interesting. And I think a lot of people agree this is actually a good thing. You know, you should be tailored to what the predominant region of your majority roster is. And that way teams can't just float the boat and get by and take advantage of the system. I'm not saying that teams did that, although you could easily say that. And I'm not saying it's wrong they did, because that's the system that was in place, but you can no longer skirt by. And if you want to be a North American team, you have to have a North American majority. And I do think that makes sense. And so we should be seeing, if these teams want the easier route to a major, well, you got to actually dedicate yourself and help the North American talent come up and sign actual North American talent. Obviously, I'm using NA as an example, but that goes if you're a European fan, an Asian fan, whatever region you support, you should want the team you support to be a majority of players actually from that region. I think this makes sense, but what do you guys think? But until next time, I'm gonna go eat and then get this video out, okay? Thank you all for watching. This is some spaghetti and some meat. It's gonna be freaking delicious. I'm now gonna go also hop on my flight tomorrow morning, very early, to Austin for the CS Major. I'm super excited to get content out for you guys. If you want any content specifically, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you want me to ask any players that I could potentially be interviewing any questions, make sure to leave those down below. I will be trying to make videos from the hotel room. I can't guarantee anything, but I will be trying my best. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subbing, and we'll see you back here sometime soon. Take care, y'all, and enjoy the freaking CS Major. Playoffs are here.